Hi, this is Jennifer Dale, and for Christmas, I want my Guggie.
That's very nice, Jennifer. Well, I want to welcome you to the studio of the pre-recording of the Great Gugelhupf, a musical that we're putting together, and thank you very much for coming into the studio today.
Oh, Nick, I'm so happy to be here. As a fellow artist, a fellow actor, and sometime colleague, I am just delighted to see you producing this with your absolutely amazing and eclectic career. We may well have wondered what you would do next, what you could possibly do to top yourself, but I think that you have found it.
I think gangster movies, I'm tired of gangster movies, Jennifer.
Well, Nick, here's something.
Aren't you tired of all these kind of really endless just
Absolutely.
like guns and
Well,
violence and explosions? It's like, enough.
Yes, and that's why I have to tell you what a delight it is to read this script because, I want to know whatever happened to the movie musical. I don't know about you, but I belong to a generation and a tribe of people who were raised on movie musicals. Our whole childhood was movie musicals, and I miss them.
I do too. And you remember in the afternoon when I was a kid, I used to see the Fred Astaire movies and those wonderful MGM musicals, and they were so uplifting.
Uplifting. And do you know what else this script reminds me of? It just occurred to me today. It has a feeling of something like The Princess Bride. It's that zany, wild romp that just is so entertaining and fun and makes you feel good.
Well, I'm really glad that we're getting an opportunity to do that. Both you and I have done a lot of movies. We've been certainly in Canada and in the States and all over the world, and I think it's time that we did something that was uplifting. Now you're also involved in quite an extraordinary project. Several years ago, you and I did a play on the life of the great actress Eleanor Duse.
Yes, a project very dear to both of our hearts.
Yeah, and you are now in the process of actually doing a movie about it. Can you tell us something about that?
Well, this is a script that evolved out of my work with Antonio D'Alfonso, who was our original translator on the play that you and I did together. And it's a project that we began a long time ago and then left alone for a long time and have now come back to, older, wiser, with bigger hearts and more to bring to it. And of course, we wrote the leading role for myself, and we wrote the leading man role for you. And we really believe in
directing.
This. Yes, and Antonio is going to direct. It will
Are
be
you guys going to have
his
a website
third
up?
feature.
Are you going to have a website
I think
up?
that we've become inspired by you letting us know about the Indiegogo process.
Yes, people, if you are interested in supporting this, I think, very valuable and important film, and it's definitely a Canadian film in the truest sense of the word, please support it, and you'll get further information as we go along. About how to do that. You're hoping to start shooting when?
Well, we would like ideally to be shooting that film, all reasonable considerations underway. I would say about this time next year makes sense.
What's really wonderful is that both of these projects, the Duse project and the Great Gugelhupf, are really stories that inspire the spirit. And what I loved about Duse, as you know, is the fact that she was an actress that had transformed the face of acting 100 years ago, but she was able to bring to the people a sense of a spiritual life and a freedom and a revelation that, we need desperately in this era of imprisonment, don't
Absolutely.
you think?
And Nick, one of the great ironies about Eleanor Duse was that in her own time, she was a theater actress and only ever did one film at the age of 59. It was called Cenere, meaning ashes. And she felt so saddened that she came so late to that art form, that she was too old for that art form. So she had the right as an actress to say, an actress lives her life at such a terrifying pace. She blooms for a moment and then withers like a bloom, only to die and leave no trace.
But she did leave a trace.
But she did leave a trace, and
Absolutely.
That's the wonderful irony, is that she lives in the hearts of actresses and actors everywhere, and that is really the underlying message of my film also, because the leading character is a modern Italian woman, Canadian Italian woman actress, who is in a kind of spiritual communion with Duze as an iconic internal spiritual guide.
And what's interesting is that when Barbara Streisand got received her Oscar, she actually thanked Eleanor Duse.
Yes, because we all know, where that seed, that pioneering spirit of the purest and highest aspirations of that art form began. Eleanor Duse was like the flashpoint in consciousness for
So
actors.
I would assume that if Eleanor Duse was in this room, she would probably want her Guggie as well.
Absolutely.
And I want to thank you
Duse
very, very much.
gets her Guggie.
And all together, let us say,
I
I
want
want my
my
Guggie.
Guggie.
Thank you, Jennifer.